Morning by Josefine. Josephine is an instructor at Northwest Polytechnic Fairview Campus in a new program that gives you a diploma essentially in farming. Josephine, welcome to Vocal for Local. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks so much, Dove.
Why don't we start with this program a bit and kind of how you came to it? You're a farmer yourself, but you've also kind of studied it a bit more in depth than maybe just kind of running a farm would allow you to. Tell us a bit about your kind of background in this and how you came to be one of the people starting this program at Northwest Polytechnic.
Yes, well, thank you for asking about that. So I started out in university myself. I have worked as an agronomist in the industry, and I kind of fell into this really cool role as the instructor here for crop production in the
Mm-hmm.
agriculture operations diploma here. And it's in the community that I live and farm in, so it's all kind of marrying together. It's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Now, tell me a bit about this program then, because I think the first intake we were saying has closed, but it's slated for the end of October. So this is brand new. Where did this program come from? What was sort of the reasoning behind developing it? And then, of course, tell us what you'll learn about in the program itself.
Yes, so it actually came from there were some farmers in the area that was really trying to push for some more trades, like more so trades trained to be on farm, and also for people that want to take over their farm in the future. It's such a fast pace industry. There's lots happening. Equipment is extremely expensive now. So there has been a big cry out for more skilled workers and tradespeople in the farming community. So they really proposed this. Northwestern Polytechnic took that, ran with it, and we now have this program here at the Fairview campus. So it's a very unique one of a kind program. It's the only one of its kind in Canada, and it has essentially been built from just like the input of the farming community and grown from that. So it's been very fast paced, and we're proud of what we have come up with as a product.
hmm And we were talking earlier. What's good about this is it's a 2-year program rather than a full degree. Because I know you could kind of learn a lot of this, in a degree program, say at the University of Alberta or the University of Saskatchewan in agriculture. But a lot of it's practical and very broad. You learn about crop production, you learn about handling animals and all those sorts of things and everything in between. Tell us a bit about the things you'd learn in this.
Yes, that's right. So it's very hands-on. That's how we want to do it. So it actually starts off with your period one agriculture equipment technician.
hmm
So you'll get enough information in that. It's a little bit modified also to bring in combines from module three, but you'll have enough that you can challenge your period one. There will be some welding within that. We'll talk about maintaining and troubleshooting agricultural machinery. As you mentioned, animal health and handling. And then it all ends with the MEL program towards class one truck license. I don't know if I mentioned the crop production, but there will be a big crop production side of it too. And that's something that I will be covering.
I see. And so this is really, I think you already mentioned it, for someone who, maybe knows nothing about farming and is more interested in it or becoming someone who maybe wants to have their own farm one day, but also for the child who is going to inherit the family farm one day and wants to make sure they're on top of everything they need to know, even if they have sort of a base knowledge from, their parents who are already farming, I suppose, eh?
Exactly. I think you nailed it. I think not people that want to work on farm. I do think it's going to have a very neat fit into the industry itself. We are trying to create that really like entrepreneurial spirit, for people that want to start up their own business within the agriculture industry or even work within industry itself for retails. I think they'll get a really neat view of the agriculture industry.
I see. And as we said, I mean, this course is through Northwestern Polytechnic, the Fairview campus. So is this is the stuff you can apply from or apply with this course unique to sort of the area it's in, which is, sort of northern Alberta into the Peace region, right? Because as we know, farming isn't exactly the same depending on where you go. It could be very different in southern Alberta, very different in southern BC and other parts of Canada. Is it kind of give you a lens to this is for people from this area kind of in the Peace region to learn how to farm and kind of learn the ins and outs of that? Or is a lot of this kind of you could apply anywhere?
You know what? That's a great question. And I do think it is very much for the Peace region up here, but it is also tailored to where else you may be from in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
The equipment is what it is that we have and that we use in agriculture, so that's fairly broad.
Yeah.
Same goes for crop production in Western Canada. I would say it's not all the same, but it has some similarities. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it doesn't matter where you're from. It would still be a fit.
I see. Okay. Now, as we
Yeah.
said, the first intake's kind of starting up at the end of October here, but you will have another one starting next year around around the same time, I should say. If people have questions about this and they want to know more, if they're considering this as a good idea, what can they do to reach out? What's the best thing to do?
Yeah, so they can actually reach out to myself. My phone number is 780-836-6618, or they can go on to Northwestern Polytechnic, search in agriculture in the search bar, bring up the agriculture operations diploma. So the one beauty of this program that I didn't get a chance to say is that the classes run from November to April to then allow for the work placement to be, in that really intense busy period when you need to be on farm in April all the way through to November. So that way it's a little bit more inclusive to people that work on farm.
Yeah, it actually gets you working on a farm, I suppose, and applying the knowledge.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, Josephine. Well, thank you. Excuse me. Thank you so much for doing this morning. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you all coming in.
Absolutely. That's Josephine from Northwest Polytechnic Fairview Campus. Check out their new Farmer program by checking out their website. And Vocal for Local is, of course, brought to you by the Fort St. John